Wednesday, my dude.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Punch Up Pod with Lila and Pat. Happy Wednesday, my dudes.
My dude, how are you doing?
I'm good.
We have a little to celebrate for, which is like the rarest of things as leftists.
Yeah, but I'm also ready to complain and question and wonder what's going to happen. And I have things to say about some of the live broadcasts last night and who
start some fighting. Or you're not left enough for me, Lila.
I think it's going to be the other way around, my friend. Let's do it.
Shit.
Let's do it. I'm always to your left. No, I'm kidding. You have a softer spot in your heart than I do. I've been hardened.
Do I? I don't know.
No,
but the beard, though, I don't know. I look. Oh
my God.
People are hating it.
Pat.
Are they hating it?
No, I love it, but I totally forgot to even say anything. I looked at you and I was like, oh.
More importantly, since we're celebrating, somebody online told me there was a place called Participation Trophy Brewing Company.
Okay.
That printed these, they made these beers called AIPAC Your Bags and Go Home Haley. And I was really trying to get them in time to celebrate. And I reached out to them. They messaged me back. My audio is weird. I'll try to fix it.
It's a little loud, but I like
it. Loud?
It.
Okay.
Loud and echoey than not.
God, jeez. But I reached out to them and they said, sorry, it's a whole scam. We're just a progressive propaganda campaign. So we put all these things. They're no real beers. There's no brewery. No. But I did print some. So I got your AIPAC Your Bags and Go Home Haley beer stickers, and they're kind of melting on the beer. But still, it's a celebration. It's ghetto. I do what I can over here.
I love it. I think it's excellent. You are still a little hot on your mic.
Okay. We'll figure this out.
Oh, that sounded better.
My gain is way down.
There you go. Look at that. I love it. All right. We are going to get started because we have a guest that we're really excited about. First, just want to remind everyone, please do like and subscribe and smash that notification bell. Some of you, I'm sure most of you, remember when we showed a song by Oxford Commie, and she has been generous enough to come on to share a couple songs with us tonight. So we are going to bring on in Oxford Commie. Hello.
Hello, Lila. Hi, Pat.
Hey.
We are so excited to have you here.
I'm happy to be here.
So we have this sort of silly thing, and just in case you don't know, but we talk about the news and it's all horrific. And in between segments, we put up this wheel and we spin it. And one of the categories, there's animals, there's lefty comedians, there's Iran's Lego propaganda now because it's going so hard and fast, and then revolutionary music interlude. And we have had lots of clips that we've shown of different fantastic performers, and you are one of them, and we are so thrilled that you're here. And what are you going to perform for us?
I have two songs, one that is already on my socials and one that I wrote like a couple days ago. So
ooh, all right. I love it.
Is Funny Feeling.
Awesome.
I can't wait to hear it. Okay. The stage is yours whenever you're ready.
All right, let's get the mandolin. Make sure it's good. All right. Throwaway at commencement speech, schools burnt in Iran. Annual school shooting tally, new special fortnight bomb. Literacy crisis, kids' devices, banning books. 5-year-olds get ready with me, asking how it looks. White girls, aqua fresca, cold spa water, adding ice. Loud pop, scholar for school caps, and repealing civil rights. roast a watermelon and then eat it by the pool. Wear a blue bikini for the women in Kabul. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Oh, there it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. How to monetize your TikTok as an anti-capitalist. Pizzagate believers apathetic to the list. Choose the bear for safety, watch the polar bears all die. AI generated recycling bin sign. Seeing kids in cages and then going to the zoo. $300 insulin, the cast of Wicked 2. Gold suit pyrotechnics for a tearful grieving wife. Social media nostalgia for the worst year of your life. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Oh, there it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Animated, oh well, it's not 1984. High-tech data center cameras pointed at your door. Bezos advocating for a 0% tax. Recap of the screen time that you're never getting back. The gay kid at the counter of your local Chick-fil-A. Asking if you'd pray for them, not knowing what to say. Politicizing sourdough, real beef tallow, silver pills. Your neighbor hating programs that he used to pay his bills. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Oh, there it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. America 250 UFC fight on the lawn. Route 66 Centennial, where half of it is gone. Annoying orange politics, a Christian mother's hate. Constitution window wrap, Trump 2028. Budgeting for things your parents bought at 23. Wondering if you're well enough to save on therapy. Smell that takes you back to summer 2005. Wondering what was different then that made you feel alive. There it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling. Oh, there it is again, that funny feeling, that funny feeling.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. Well done.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Gosh, that's beautiful. I need a printout of all the words, the lyrics, because they're so poignant. Do you write your own music or?
So that one, all of those songs are my own. It's kind of an homage to Bo Burnham, who
Yep.
wrote Inside during 2020, and he wrote a song called That Funny Feeling, and it was about all of the things that were happening in 2020 during COVID, and I felt like
We're still in all of it.
Yeah,
It's only gotten
there's
worse.
some new stuff that's happened
Yeah.
since then. So
I gotta say, I love that you brought in we hate the Broligarchs. We're always covering Bezos and Palantir and all those guys. And like, there's something about revolutionary music that brings that into it, that just makes their names mainstream. Like, these are your villains. Like, let's go for them. And I love that so much.
yeah, absolutely. Those are the ones, the big hitters.
So are you playing live in places now? Or are you mostly doing music online? What's your dream?
Right now it's just online. I've been posting a lot on, the socials.
Yep.
At some point I would love to do live stuff, but right now it don't pay the
Apart from
bills.
tonight.
So.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what is your feeling like in the area of the country where you live? Do you feel like what's the feeling on the ground where you are? I'm in Los Angeles, Pat's in Sacramento. We have people like all over the place. And how are you guys feeling where you're from?
Yeah, so I'm in the Midwest, in a very red area.
Okay.
And it's, I think the thing is, it feels very bad when you see everything. But I think being around people, because there are always people, there are always going to be kind people, there are always going to be people that care.
Yeah.
Finding those people is really important. And then also just being a part of the community, or just your community in general, is such a big thing. I think in a weird way, I kind of do appreciate where I am, because it gives more of an opportunity to really talk to people that maybe I don't agree with, and then kind of see those things that, so much of what I think our problems are today are just the polarization from the top to the working class.
Yeah.
And when you talk to people, when you talk to your neighbors,
Yep.
to the people around you, there really are so many things that we have in common. And it's just the fact that they're pitting us all against each other.
Do you feel like issue by issue, there's a lot of agreement, even in the red states, like for Medicare for all, for example?
If you call it Medicare for all, no. If you say things like, I really feel like, it shouldn't be as expensive as it is, these doctor's appointments are just really getting up there, and people that are less fortunate than us, oh my gosh, they couldn't afford it. And if you phrase it like that, then yeah, people agree. I mean, same thing on a lot of fronts, talking about, education and, in terms of like bodily autonomy, there are a lot of things that people agree with across the aisles, as long as you don't say any of the no
scary
words.
Yeah.
I found that I'm not in a red state. We're in like uber blue California, the communist haven of the world right here, right? Which is ridiculous, because it's the corporate Democrat haven of the world. But I found when you approach these people on the right with, I hate Joe Biden, or like the bad things about the Democratic Party, is a good intro into whatever you're going to talk about. Because then we agree already, and we can kind of coast into the other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Pat, we're getting a little bit of a hot mic from you.
Hot mic again. Jesus.
Yeah. But then it went okay. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, it does feel like there is a real push by corporate media to talk about like the civil war that's going to be happening in the Civil War. And obviously there's some people who are truly like Nazis, neo-Nazis. They're proud of that. But I agree with you. I mean, I think a lot of people really can plug into that class divide, which is the biggest divide there is, right? And especially if you're approaching it from a leftist point of view, I think there is an ideology there and an analysis that can be consistently applied, so it makes sense, issue after issue.
Yeah.
So did you go to, like, how did you become, I don't know if you're full on communist or socialist, but like, how did you get radicalized?
You know what's so funny is I was kind of thinking about that leading up to this, and weirdly enough, I genuinely think I was raised very Christian. I'm not anymore. But I think from being raised the way that I was raised, and then subsequently like deconstructing all of those things,
Right.
kind of it pulled me more and more left, because
Yeah.
honestly, a lot of the things that I was raised believing was like compassion, help the people that can't maybe do things because of like their position of privilege, and always be kind. And then going from that and then looking at a lot of, I think, kind of modern Christianity, I was kind of like, whoa, hey, whoa, what happened?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought we were all for helping each other out. What happened? And I really do think that it was that. And then obviously, yes, going out into the world and meeting people that had different, or maybe just some new beliefs that had, you know, really encountered before, just kind of pushed me further and further to being like, hey, maybe the way to go is to just be kind and help everybody whenever you can.
Yep.
And follow that path.
Things we were supposed to have learned in kindergarten or nursery school, right?
Yeah. Golden rule and all that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we think you are amazing. You are giving us all so much joy. I especially, as I said before the show, I'm a grammar nerd also. So I'm a big fan of the Oxford comma. So I love the double entendre there. And we would love to hear your next song.
Yeah, speaking of, my next one is called I Hope Jesus Comes Back Tomorrow. And it literally was me thinking about being raised in a Christian community and then seeing all of the people around me maybe not follow those beliefs very closely. So,
Great.
All right. I hope Jesus comes back tomorrow so that he can tell you just how wrong you've been. I hope Jesus comes to tell you all to keep his name out of your mouths while you're the ones living in sin. He fed and healed the poor. He told the rich to pay. He loved Paul the way he was. He wouldn't pray the gay away. Hung out with prostitutes and whores. Didn't matter where they'd been. Told the men, pluck out your eyes if they are causing you to sin. He was born from immigrants in what's now Palestine. They fled to keep him safe. Yes, they crossed that borderline. And each year when Christmas comes, you sing praise by candlelight, but you would have slammed the door in Mary's face and reported her to ICE. He said to love your neighbors. It doesn't matter where they're from, their religion or their gender. You just love them how they come, because they were all made in his image. So help the least of these, but that doesn't mean you treat them less than human beings. Mission trips to inner cities, then you vote to keep them poor. Tell them to help themselves, then glue their bootstraps to the floor. You take away their health care, their food stamps and their aid, but Jesus healed without insurance and fed them without pay. You take tithes from congregants, they have to name to claim, and if they're not making money, then they have themselves to blame. But Jesus wouldn't like your homes, your churches, or your planes. He flipped tables seeing people making money in his name. The meek shall inherit, yet you yell and scream for clout. You angrily invoke his name to get the voters out. Yes, you polarize your base, demonize opposing views. But Jesus championed free will and a person's right to choose. Rich won't go to heaven like a camel through an eye, but you use your wealth to push that needle closer to the right. You whore the wealth alone when he told the rich to sell. Oh, I think billions would surely place you squarely into hell. And every Sunday morning, as people fill the pews, They bow their heads as you baptize their brains with more fake news. You raise them up like soldiers to fight who you call free. When you know that Jesus preached peace and turned the other cheek. Well, I hope Jesus comes back tomorrow so that he can tell just how wrong you've been. I hope Jesus comes to tell you all to keep his name out of your mouths while you're the ones living in sin. And if Jesus comes back tomorrow, you'll have to answer for all the wrong you do. And even though I don't preach for Jesus, ain't it funny how I'm listening to him better than you?
Oh my God, that's so beautiful. Well done.
Amazing. Really.
I love these. Yes, we will definitely, everybody's letting you in the chat. We will definitely clip these too. Can you tell people, please, where they can find you? And just so you know, I did put your link tree in the description on the YouTube page, but where can people, like, where are you mostly?
I am mostly on TikTok as Oxford_Commie, Instagram as Oxford_Commie, or Insta.
Right.
I'm very creative. And YouTube as just Oxford Commie.
Excellent. Awesome. Oh my gosh, you're amazing. You keep doing what you're doing. It's so beautiful and inspirational and helpful for all of us who feel a little down these days.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, it's such a treat to have you here on the night we're celebrating a few rare wins, like I said, and everybody loves you. Your voice is wonderful. Your views are great. I agree 100% on Christianity and the rest of it as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Same. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you soon. We'll be following you. Cheers.
Thank you.
Yes, please follow her. Share her stuff.
Bye.
All right, bye.
That's so beautiful. Did we both just do it by accident?
We did.
Oh, sorry. That was not meant to be such a swift goodbye, like booted from the thing. I just didn't want to.
I don't know. I'm just, my hot mic is gone. I'm glad her mic wasn't hot because that's what matters.
Beautiful. Great. Those lyrics were so powerful. Loved that. All right. Well, thank you to Oxford Commie. And yes, I did see your comment, Pendejo, about Colombia. Not sure if that was, I've gotten myself in trouble when people mention that. So I wasn't sure if there was like a hidden something under there. But thank you for your comment. Hope, thank you so much for your super sticker. We appreciate it. And cheers. I just saw somebody say, I look for live and had to click on your channel. That's so weird. Thank you for letting us know, Lurley. You know, and I'm assuming that you like clicked the notifications, but that is just so bizarre. You're the second or third person who said that. Very frustrating. Oh, Pat. Now it's
they're suppressing what this as much as possible these days.
But yeah.
It'll probably come back soon. Like we need to get past the primaries in all the states, and then we'll be like, oh look, we have 1,000 viewers again. And then closer we get, it just starts shaving down.
Yep, it's really they are in control. They like to let us know the powerful are there, but
those bastards.
Those bastards. But they cannot take the fight out of us. Our cheers today is a man in Fridley, Minnesota from last week. His name is Daniel Hartman, speaking at the city council about having to deflock the city.
Love it.
I'm Daniel Hartman. I live in Ward 2 in Fridley. I've not been a resident of Fridley for as long as many of you, but like many of you, I came here to build a life, a future with my family. And it's caused me to think a lot about the future, about the world we will be building for our children. I want that world to be one where we trust one another. A world where newcomers to the community are greeted with open arms and kindness. Flock is not that. Where we could be spending our money, uniting our community, and building it into something for everyone to trust in, we instead send it to unproven tech oligarchs to invade and spy on our communities. That spying is not without consequence. When the federal invaders arrived to terrorize our state in the name of scams, lawlessness, and racism, that very network was used to track and kidnap our neighbors, as we know. Our children will look back on this moment with revulsion, nauseated by the cowardice that led us to turn our guns inward, nauseated by the squandering of our natural resources to build the data center and surveillance infrastructure, a monument to fear, voyeurism, and delusion. We must not forget this is much bigger than a few cameras spying creepily on civilians. The surveillance state cannot exist without data centers. Every second these cameras are running is another second spent sucking the life out of our planet. You keep this up, and we're staring down more than a future without privacy. We are staring down the destruction of our future in entirety. Does it comfort you to know that when the last drop of water is drained, when the weather gets so hot that your sweat can no longer keep you alive, and when electricity is so expensive that we can no longer afford to cool our homes, there will still be cameras pointing at the people that frighten you? If my words offend you, remember that I warned you months ago in this very room. You have had adequate time to change course and be the responsible adults you were elected to be. If you cannot see this situation for what it is, then you should not be anywhere near a position of power. We are better than this. Spend our money on something the community would actually benefit from. We should be enjoying our parks together and making friends, not living in fear of one another. I ask that you disarm these cameras.
Amen.
Yeah, amen to him. And that was, as Jay says, that was a warning shot. You know, I warn you, both to the people in power and to his fellow, community members. I think like it's going to get even worse. So yeah,
Absolutely. And I drive around for my job because I'm a residential electrician, right? So we go to house here, house there. So all of Sacramento, I drive around all day, going job to job. I see so many goddamn flock cameras. It's insane. They're everywhere. Once you learn to recognize them, they are everywhere. Yeah. Did you see that clip of somebody who had one right outside their house and it was capturing all their stuff, all their phone data, like just it's such a violation, and it's only for nefarious purposes. There's barely any good comes out of it. And these police forces are getting training manuals on how to sell it to your local city, your councilman. Like, oh, here's a gentle way to present the flock cameras.
And it's wrong a huge percentage of the time. And so then they can target somebody guns drawn for often very, small offenses that aren't even, that person wasn't even the right suspect. Like something, reads the license plate incorrectly, or as we know, it's being abused by all of these cops who are stalking their ex-wives, ex-girlfriends, people who just have said, who have declined to go on dates with them. It's being, of course, used against civilians.
Yeah, I mean, the police are the most violent group of employees on the planet.
Yep.
They're spouse abusers. They're violent as hell, and you give them more power with these systems. And they claim these systems track and whatever. Yeah, they will bring cases occasionally down the road, but like, there's nothing to stop a raging policeman to violently commit an act. Yeah. And that person's not even the problem we all have to worry about per se. It's, we have to worry about, they know that Lila's going to a protest.
Right.
And let's track her. And, what kind of organizations want to know that she's at this protest?
Exactly. Or they mistake me for somebody else. Again,
yeah. Mistake though. That's the fear.
And they're so scared. I mean, I know we talk about this all the time, but the number one killer of cops and ICE in the last few years is COVID. Just being on the job, I don't even think they're in the top 10 of most dangerous professions. And yet they treat all of us as though we might prevent them from going home that night.
Yeah. And I think what people need to understand is like, okay, it's bad enough. Like we would not all support cameras on everything that happens in the world, but it's not even that. It's so far removed from cameras. It's cameras, it's Bluetooth, it's like, it's, dense in your car on top. So they have facial, they have facial recognition. They have how you walk recognition. Yep. So that's like, oh, Lila walks this certain way. So that's probably Lila. And then it's like all those things converge to have a constant who is where at what time kind of scenario. It's not just video.
Correct. They're able to infiltrate our social media, everything in your phone, anything you're connected to by Bluetooth. So yeah. And again, I mean, I know we all know this, but it's been done without any small d democratic input, and people are justifiably furious of this invasion of privacy for the, especially, I mean, it's such a right-wing notion that you can decide to make everybody safe by just monitoring them and keeping them in line. But that's not, like, you cannot go through life trying to prevent every single possible crime or infraction. You'll make yourself crazy, and you will take away every single possible freedom.
You know what's wild? I don't remember which one it was, but one of the Lincoln Project main guys came out with a video anti-flock.
I think Stephen Schmidt, right?
Stephen Schmidt. It was Stephen Schmidt. You're right. Yeah. Anti-flock. But it's like, is it really anti-flock or is it pro Elon's flock?
Right.
That's coming up to replace it. It's like, yes. Is it? Yeah.
Anyway, fighting. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh, no, I did line it up. Okay.
The wheel. Spin it.
The wheel. Here we go. Yes, I will.
Well done.
Thank you. Slap and tickle. Wait 1 second. Let me just move this.
I need some of that double slap.
Yes, I know. I want to see you.
I would have bought it, but it was like literally a year old IPA is undrinkable.
Yeah. Okay. I need to stop for a second because I'm going to.
Yeah. So public service announcement: if you're an IPA drinker, do not check the dates on your beers at Bevmo specifically.
Okay. Also, if you shop at Trader Joe's,
Total Wine too. They're terrible with the dates.
Okay. Well, okay. We've got a few Legos that are, appropriate to the news of the moment, and I starred them. So give me 1 second. 1 second. We have sorry, there's a lot. God, they're just like never ending here. Not on my watch. Let's give that one a shot.
Every prophet walked this fire. Every truth cuts through the liar. Whole world watching, slaughter daily. Only one says not on my watch. Plainly, we don't bow, we don't sell, we don't buy what you sell. The last wall standing, that's Iran. Every child buried, what they've done. The last wall standing, that's Iran. We don't bow to bow, we never run. They slaughter kids on a schedule, call it self-defense. You went bought and sold, the price was immense. Gaza burning, kids dying, cameras on. Every government silent, pockets full, backbone gone. UAE shaking hands, Saudi counting that check. We're Muslim like a costume, but they Zionist projects. Created ISIS, gave them cash in the trucks, but they never touched Zionists. Man, what the luck? MBS and MBZ, even better with Netanyahu. Wild Al Jolani in your pocket, playing Muslim for a while. You created fake Islams, put them on the shelf. Sold them to the world like it's the good Muslim self. She and Sunni, they been pushing that division, but Imam said one, Ummah, that was always the vision. Even Christians know if Jesus walked today, first place, he flipped tables. Tel Aviv, no delay. Every prophet walked this fire. Every truth cuts through the liar. Whole world watching, slaughter daily. Only one says not on my watch. Plainly, we don't bow, we don't sell, we don't buy what you sell. The last wall standing, that's Iran. they done. The last wall standing, that's Iran. We don't bow to bow out, we never run. Every treaty sign, they stab the bag. Same play, but they used on the name the tracks. Billions on propaganda, celebrities on payroll. Still couldn't stop the love for Iran and every free soul. Tired of the wars, the lies, the same old spin. We ain't your enemy, we never have been. We pay with our pockets, every sanction, every price. We bled for this truth, we didn't think twice. But that empire of hearts, man, it's already here. Every conscience that won't sleep is Iran's frontier.
History will remember who stood when it mattered.
Keep your sanctions,
Keep your propaganda.
we the nation of Hussein.
We don't bow to Yasin.
They're so good.
They're so good. You know, it's of course much too high a price that anybody should ever have to pay. But on October 7th, I remember saying to my mom that this is the end of Israel, like it's over. And I did not realize it would also be the end of the United States as the only global power. Way too many people are suffering and have been slaughtered, but it's going to be Hamas doing what they did on October 7th will be, I think, looked back at in history or in the future will be looked back on as the real precipitous event that
It
brought
liberated
these people
Palestine
together.
eventually and brought down Israel's empire at least and nicked ours. I think Israel is not going to recover.
Right.
We're so powerful we might, renegotiate our way back into where
I
we
think,
were.
yeah, I mean, I don't think we're going to be smashed the
Yeah.
way Israel, the whole structure will have to be redone, or they're just going to be a pariah state as they already are. But I mean, the fact that what just happened today, where basically, I mean, who knows how long this is going to continue for, because we've been here before, but Iran has made it clear that again, there's a ceasefire, the memorandum of understanding, and they are including Lebanon. They are now talking about including Palestine, and they are also saying you have to give us money up front as repayment for what you've done to our country, and also we will be collecting the toll, however they're going to call it, right away. We're not waiting the 60 days.
Yeah, I mean, they learn unlike us. We don't learn.
Yeah.
We bully.
Yep.
Israel and the U.S. bully, and tactically we're the losers in this war, as we should be. But they have the upper hand, and it's just so clear. And the hard break with Israel is going to take a long time still, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But eventually, we're going to have a hard break with Israel.
I mean, yeah, I think a little bit it's happening now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I don't think that there will be another attack by Trump or another major start of the war, although we might do the same thing that Israel does and, slaughter more people during a ceasefire with Hamas in Gaza than were killed on October 7th in a ceasefire. Babies, children, mommies, daddies, whatever. It's disgusting. But also, as we're trying now, I mean, like when I see what's happening with Venezuela, they are just a vassal state now. And they're saying the same, like openly threatening, saying to Cuba, you want the lights back on? Then stop, that you must relinquish power.
Now, it's wild. I don't agree with you necessarily on that part, though. That
You're wrong. No, I'm kidding.
I think Trump's going to start this up again. We're not out of it yet, so I don't think we're there to where it's.
The problem is we don't have the munitions. We're just out of munitions, and his head generals are saying we don't have munitions. And that is a problem because if we can't, if we use them all up on Iran, what will we be doing? The exact same thing that we already did. Then all of a sudden, there is no deterrence. We have no military deterrence from China or Russia, right?
Right, but we know that those countries have never been a real risk. They aren't pursuing. They're
Right.
not aggressive like we are. Yeah, Russia may be locally, but they have no. There's no communist, domino theory where they're
Right.
going to knock down Ukraine and then get to the U.S.
Right. Yeah. No, that, I mean, that
So
was all a lie in the first place anyway.
yeah,
Right? Yeah.
so I think we'll have at least one more big soiree to show that the U.S. isn't crippled. Sorry for the ableist term, but the U.S. isn't hampered by.
Or whatever. Right.
We have the weapons still. Look how fast we built those bombs up that you didn't expect.
Right.
So we'll have one
Yeah.
more.
I mean, I'm sure.
round.
Yeah. I mean, listen, even when he said we're not, hold back, we're not going to do anything this past weekend, they still dropped the U.S., a 2,000-pound bomb on a civilian home, killing everybody inside. So, yes, I mean, I think that there will be acts of violence because that's who we are, probably sabotage. But I think this has been such an instructive and revealing time for American empire. We create nothing but war and weapons and spread pain around the world. And in the end, we could not bring down Ansar Allah. We couldn't bring down Iran. And even though we've got Besson out there saying, oh, well, Trump threatened them with everything and destroying their civilization. And so now they're, dying to come to the table. They're begging us to. And then Iran right away says, no, that's not at all what happened. We don't need to have any conversations. We need Trump to feel a little more pain. So it's just shown that we are built on, we're paper tiger.
Absolutely, we are. It's our empire is falling before our eyes, and the public is so clear on it that look at how expensive this is. Look at the opportunity cost of not doing things here as far as healthcare, the price of rent. Look at the cost directly from the war to the gasoline prices. Look at all of that's just starting to hit now, even though it may be fixed soon. But there's a impact, on the economy that's delayed because everything runs on gas.
And now we have to bail out Japan, an island that can't get, everything is too expensive. And they were operating at no interest. So now they can't even sell the bonds that they have. They can't sell our debt or any of their U.S. Financial debt holding without completely crashing our economy also. And so we're bailing them out. I think it's $8 billion.
And in contrast, and I know the public doesn't know about much of this stuff, but China, they hid from the public how much reserve gasoline they had.
Yeah.
So they have all this gasoline, and that all the analysts can't figure out where was that gas. So we have all these cameras on their gasoline reserves that we think they have, and they didn't even go down, and they didn't stop their consumption, so it didn't impact their economy the way we expected it to impact their economy. And it's the effect of capitalism. It's just they're running their country 1,000 times better than us.
Lots of renewables. They've invested heavily in that. They didn't, make fun of the climate change that is been brought to us by all these oil companies. Every day now there's another devastating wildfire, a flood. It's not letting up. Yeah. So anyway, it's just amazing to see how quickly this decline happened. And also because I do think that as horrific as the beginning of COVID was, there was also a real chance of a reset. We saw what happened when you look out for other people in your community and cared if they got sick, when we sort of shut everything down, and how that affected the air, and thinking and realizing that the just-in-time manufacturing strategy had really screwed us with masks, with hospital beds, with nursing equipment, with PPE, all that kind of stuff. And, to Joe Biden's credit, and I hate giving him even an ounce of credit, and it was not nearly enough, but did start trying to bring some manufacturing home. And of course, all, and again, not enough. And Trump just ended all of it anyway. So we really need to invest in our own country, not to the exclusion of other countries, but to make sure that we can be up and running and not dependent on the oil that is destroying the planet, right?
Honestly, I don't, okay, so the manufacturing locally, one part of it is that the shipping costs to the environment, the impact of using gasoline basically to travel all these products that we want across the country is very taxing on the environment, right? But the other piece is like, okay, energy independence should be the clean energy. It should be solar here. Like that's what these other countries are doing. They're like, okay, yes, it is important for your country to have its own energy and not be dependent on some strait in the halfway across the world. But the way to do that is just get off the oil, right? So you just put up solar, you do wind, you do all, and we have a war on that shit now with both parties getting behind it lately.
Yeah, fracking. That's right. Fracking, all of it. And yeah, like this is what we are. And I can't remember who it was who said, don't call them data centers, call them surveillance centers. I can't remember who I was listening to, but it was like, yeah, no, that's exactly right. Like, because data centers, you can pretend that there's something good about them, which I know that's not what you're saying, Len, but like, I need to switch my terminology and just call, just like I don't say moderate Dems or centrist Dems, they're corporate Dems or corrupt Dems or right-wing Dems, whatever, like words carry meaning and there's nothing moderate about them. And the data part of it is surveillance on all of us. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. And because it does minimize it, people, Taylor Lorenz has been on our show a million times. Well, once, but I've known her for a while and she's a tech consultant. I mean, tech reporter.
Journalist.
Right.
Yeah,
so but she's pro AI and she's like sort of defending these AI centers and like, there's so much misinformation, but she's on the wrong side of it. I'm sorry. I like her a lot and what she exposes, but she's very like, okay, people don't have a clue that we need data centers and like, look, we don't need data. Yes, we need data centers to exist to run computers and their servers and it's the cloud and all that shit, right? That's a real thing that we've had forever.
Right.
We don't need this exponential boom of massive just server rooms with just endless fucking computers so that you can pump out your little cartoon.
Exactly. And also you look at China, which is what, 5 times our size or something, 1, 2, 3, something like that. And they have 1/5 our number of data centers, right? So we do not need the, whatever it is, 4,700 that we have now destroying our environment.
And she's great at a lot of things, but she's wrong on that one. I think it's because of her close association with the tech people, and that like at the end of the day, that tech interest is I don't think she's being disingenuous. I think it colors you when you're. It's sort of like she's a Democrat, but she's a tech person.
Well, I think also,
but not. I don't mean to disparage her too much on this. I just mean I think your point about reframing how we look at these things.
The surveillance centers. Yeah.
We have to call them surveillance centers. We have to express that they're not here and not a standard like, hey, the internet exists, so you need these things. You don't need these things because the internet exists.
Right. Exactly. And if they were really good, they wouldn't have to sell them so hard and, do all these AI commercials for AI all the time. Thank you, Vendejo. Trump and Yahoo crashed the petrodollar in record time. That's right. And now we're bailing out Japan. Thank you very much. No, we definitely don't. There is the push that I've seen. And of course, it kind of reminds me of the abundance thing is, AI is going to help people who can't afford a lawyer come up with a contract or be able to sue somebody or come up with the right language without having to hire somebody. So they're kind of framing it as something that's like a great democratizing, mechanism.
Yeah.
And, that's a lie.
The problem with a lot of that is it can lead you into expensive problems.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
you're trusting your AI to do your legal work, and then you get in front of the judge, and the judge is like, "Oh, I'm 50% louder still." Jeez, I'll move the mic way away from me. I don't know what's going on.
Truth, he's talking about Taylor Lorenz. She is, I mean, she is a
Well, I don't mean
lefty,
to single out.
no, I
She's-
know, anti-genocide, still very COVID conscious. She has a lot of tech investigative journalism, and I think she's just, of the mindset probably that, well, it's here to stay. We better learn how to use it, and some of it will be really helpful. But I just don't think it's necessary. Read a book. That's what I would like to say.
Yeah.
And yeah, we do. This is, how many
Am I too
thousands-
loud?
No, not
Is that too
still.
loud?
I
Is
think
that too
some-
loud?
I think it's
Someone
not
tell me.
now. I think maybe because sometimes
So
it.
1 foot from my microphone is the key. Okay.
All right.
The funny thing is, we started this pre-show with Lila saying, "Oh, I can't hear you," and then I
So
turned some shit up.
Well, yeah. Sorry. Lila was wrong again.
Lila was wrong again.
Lila was wrong.
trying-
All right, let's get into Commie Corridor. So last night was a big win for several DSA, anti-AIPAC, Bernie Bro types. We had, can I bring my mic down to be in front of my mouth? I actually cannot, because if you saw my setup here and how everything is jerry rigged with like tape and hair clips, but I will try to make it better. Okay, so this is in Michigan. Abdul El-Sayed beat Haley Stevens in spite of $60 million being spent against him. Will Lawrence, who was one of the founders of the Sunrise Movement, won Michigan's 7th district. Rashida Tlaib won her seat again. Donovan McKinney ousted, oh God, I have the thing on it and now my brain, where is it? Ousted that weird guy who basically just asked AIPAC what he should do, Shri Thanadar. And wait, let me go back. There were a couple other good ones. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, here's where I'm gonna say I don't know about the John guy. I don't know John Dursky and Pramila Jayapal, whatever.
Yeah.
But here's what's interesting. Detroit now will be represented wholly by DSA representatives in Congress. That's kind of funny, kind of interesting, right?
Yeah, I'm going to keep the mic away from you. Excuse me. I think no
I'm
matter
getting
what you
close.
think about DSA specifically, like this is such a clear rebuke to the Democratic Party where people are just like, "Hey, I want to vote left, but I
Yeah.
don't want to vote for you fucks."
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Here's what else is interesting. William Lawrence won in the 7th district, which was a Trump plus, what was it? I can't remember what it was plus, but a Trump district in 2024. They are right away trying to frame this a few different things. One is, can Abdul El-Sayed patch things up with skeptical Democrats? So he had this is from the New York Times. Michigan's acrid Senate primary between Dr. Abdul, oh, they call him a doctor, look at that, El-Sayed and Representative Haley Stevens ground to its end this morning. One thing was clear, he has a lot of work to do unifying Democrats. El-Sayed, a former public health official, squeaked out a win over Stevens. Squeaked out. I mean, they're just so bitchy. At last count, about 15,000 ballots, or less than 1% of primary voters. But you know what it is when you barely win? It's still a fucking win.
It's a
So
win.
fuck off. Now, after a bruising campaign that involved accusations of anti-Semitism, sexism, and racism, El-Sayed, a 41-year-old progressive, needs to bring skeptical Democrats over to his side to beat Mike Rogers, the Republican nominee. And just as a reminder, he said nothing that wasn't true, and he did not lie about her.
Yeah.
He said his opinion that she's an empty suit bought by AIPAC. But the dirt, the claims that
You're
he's a
right.
terrorist, that he's an anti-Semite, that he's sexist, that was from her.
It's just wild. If these roles were reversed and she had won,
Yeah.
it would be that article would be, will El-Sayed bring his progressive base or ruin the party?
Is he going to take his ball and go home?
Yeah,
We
that would be the
unify.
whole narrative for the next year.
That said, I will say that you don't know anybody your vote. So I prefer this. Like, yeah, he does have to now work for, and he can work it however he wants, but I would prefer this idea. But the framing of this is so dishonest because she ran the dirty campaign. He has already said, like, in spite of the bitter campaign that, and he, he's called her out on it, but we do all have to come together to beat Mike Rogers. But like this, here, this was Politico. Progressives didn't get the big election night they wanted. I mean, they are just
I knew that.
cope.
I knew this was coming.
Of course.
Because it's like, okay, Cory Bush lost. So, oh, look, is there really a takeover? Let's have 5 corporate Democrat pundits on TV to talk about why there really isn't a progressive takeover.
Yeah.
DSA is nothing.
Exactly.
Be afraid of them taking over, but they're not taking over.
Right. Exactly. Like, choose your lane. And also, okay, fine. That was a Democratic primary. But what's going to happen in the general? And then this is the other thing. Will El-Sayed hand the Senate to Trump? That's, of course, Democratic strategist, get ready for this, Liz Smith, weighs in on her party's high-stakes Senate primary tomorrow in Michigan, where outside money has turned the race between moderate Beltway insider Haley Stevens and hard-left insurgent, by the way, who calls himself a capitalist, into a proxy war over the shape of the Democrats' future. And I mean, this is a Jewish insider very upset that today on Morning Joe, El-Sayed called Israel bloodthirsty. Actually, it was it was today. Appearing on MS Now's Morning Joe. Oh, maybe this was from last week. Sorry.
No, it says the 5th. Oh, but that might have been.
I don't know. But anyway, they have to make everybody scared because this is the thing. Look at this. There was $81 million spent in the Democratic primary
For one Senate seat.
Senate seat in Michigan, and 64 million of that was trashy, shitty, lying ads for Haley Stevens.
But you know what? What I don't think is factored in yet, all the money. I thought he was going to win a lot stronger than he did. I'm not going to lie.
That's what all the polls.
I'm not going to lie. And what I think it shows is that at some point, elections are about like getting people to the fucking polls, and money was able to get people to the polls. Money, there were probably buses, cars. They had a system of knowing exactly who could possibly vote for her, and a strategic, plan to get that person to the polls.
And also the
and that costs money, and that's where I think down the stretch, that's where they made up 10%. Like that's a big difference.
It is a big. The other thing, okay, so 2 things. One is the mail-in ballots were heavy with her. Also, was it in, I think, Detroit, which is kind of funny because they're sending all these DSA members to Congress, but they heavily preferred Haley Stevens. And then there was a thought of like, well, a bigger black cohort voting in Detroit, maybe older, who has fond memories of Obama
who sort of endorsed her, did not endorse her, but yes, she claimed the endorsement.
Exactly. And then they believed all the lies, like, oh, he was uncommitted, and that's what he was part of the uncommitted movement that handed us Trump. But like, meanwhile, right away, as soon as Biden dropped out, he was uncommitted in the primary. But remember, there wasn't a real primary. We weren't doing a primary. There was no primary. It was just going to be Biden running again. As soon as he dropped out, Abdul said, considering the dangers of the Republican nominee and potential of her leadership, it's time for all of us to unite behind Kamala Harris to defeat Trump. He actually endorsed her before Haley Stevens did. There'd be a lot to look forward to under President Kamala Harris. So all the things that they accuse him of, which are inaccurate or just completely dishonest lies, actually like make me vomit in my mouth about him because I don't think that he should have, supported her. But So they are scared because all of that money, all of the power, all of the Democratic elite, the whole corporate media system were trying to scare us about this Muslim terrorist, sexist, not really a doctor, and they lost.
They lost, and you can't spend $80 million on all these seats, even with unlimited funding. It's not doable. So, this is the case study. They lost it. This seat in itself is going to force a lot of sort of fake progressive Democrats to tweak their position, at least.
Yeah.
They're going to lie better is what I'm getting at.
They're going to be like Mallory McMorrow. A kinder, gentler. It's just going to be that it's Netanyahu's problem, Medicare for all who need it. It's going to be, the Liz Smith, Pete Buttigieg strategy. We're all just as progressive as. And then I will say, the other thing, watching. I'm sorry to just keep shitting all over Breaking Points, but anyway, watching them yesterday, did not mention Shama Sawant last night. Did say. Friend of show, facetiously, but friend of show, Adam Smith has his race also is happening tonight. That was a pretty huge blowout, but it probably would have helped if left media had gotten involved in that fight, because
Absolutely.
if you care about a genocide or economic, devastation that we're suffering in this country, or any of the issues that Adam Smith has rallied hard against, then you support Shama Sawant. So, yeah,
and even if you don't support her, you just,
give her some space to talk.
To ignore her in that discussion is ridiculous, because you're covering politics. If you're doing this whole we're going to cover the left, we're going to cover the right. So who's the opposition? It was her. And you're
with a real theory of change that doesn't depend on we just need 4 more, 3 more, 2 more. And so there's this really sort of nice thing that's happening where when each DSA member has won, then they hop on a plane to go rally support for the next primary and try to get out the vote and all of that in this show of solidarity. So the group of them yesterday, it was, Chris Rabb? Is that his name? Chris Rabb, I think, from Pennsylvania, and Claire Valdez, and possibly Daria Lisa, I can't remember. And they were being interviewed by somebody on the ground in Michigan for Breaking Points. And it was like, well, what's going to be your strategy? And what's your first issue that you guys are going to attack? And he was like, well, we don't know how many of us are going to be. Right now, there's only 7. So we don't have, it's not, we're not in the majority. So we're going to just have to see. And I was like, really? You can't say anything? We are going to shut everything down and leverage all of our power, vote in a block. We are going to get Medicare for all, and we are going to stop funding genocide. Come on. Imagine
Shama Sawant winning her race and saying, well, there's only so much I can do. I'm going to push them to their limits, but we just need 50 more. Republicans, are such a threat to our. Yeah. No. Yeah. So that, right away, I just felt, and he actually, I've heard him talk before. He seems great, but come on. That's how you're going to talk about these wins. And what are they for? I will say, happy to see that. I have to say, this is a post by Political Polls, and I have not verified if this is true. I am happy to see that El-Sayed, who's not DSA, not AOC, says that he is not endorsing Chuck Schumer as Senate Majority Leader. It would be Chris Van Hollen. And, what does that say about DSA? I don't know. I am just, I had a moment of vision. I'm happy that AIPAC and establishment Dems and, the ruling elite and all that, I'm happy that they had to eat shit for a night, but
we all know. This
Yeah.
isn't-
Well, we need more than just a messaging tweak with the party. And that's how the party takes this. They're like, we finally are losing our voters with all our propaganda. Let's reshape our propaganda. Is
Exactly.
what is
How
coming
do we
out of
message
this.
abundance?
And if the DSA is going to try to help in the rebranding of the Democratic Party, that's at their own peril, and it's bad for DSA unless you just want to be the sort of like, a little bit better Democrat, which the public is screaming, no, we need a much different person with morals and doesn't take PAC money and fights for these issues and doesn't fucking
And we
praise
know it's
Nancy
a winning
Pelosi and
message. Like, we know that because this was yesterday, or it was either yesterday or Tuesday, or what's today? Yeah, yesterday or Monday. In Michigan, this is a centrist conservative woman being asked about if she would vote for Haley Stevens.
The one issue that seemed to be the most salient, the most elicit the most passion from people, certainly, was her stance on Israel and her support for taxpayer dollars continuing to be used to support the Israeli military. I want to play you portions of my conversations with voters here today, and I'll start with that point specifically. This is what a voter had to say when she learned that Haley Stevens, relative to Abdul El-Sayed, supports U.S. support for Israel. Take a listen.
I just wouldn't want a single of our family's tax-paying dollars to go towards something like that. It's like giving money to violence.
So would you support a Senate candidate, in this case Haley Stevens, who's more of a moderate like you tend to like, but would that be enough?
That would definitely turn me off as 100%. I couldn't. I would vote for a communist first.
So don't walk
Literally.
anything back.
Literally, she would vote for a communist, and this is obviously not a commie-friendly person.
Exactly.
She was using that as the extreme position. I would vote for even that crazy communist over Haley Stevens. God, no. And if the mic was off, she would be like, that bitch? Are you fucking kidding me?
So AIPAC's already talking about how they're going to spend money, of course, to get Mike Rogers into the Senate. Our members remain determined to ensure that voters reject Dr. El-Sayed and his radical anti-Israel agenda in November. And then, of course, they're already doing this thing in the Republican Party. Instead of calling him Abdul El-Sayed, they are now talking about him as Abdulrahman Mohammed El-Sayed, which they think is going to work like Barack Hussein Obama. This was his response to that.
I want us to realize that there is so much more that unites us now, because the campaign that Mike Rogers and Donald Trump and their GOP MAGA allies are launching is already more bitter. All you got to do is look at the ads you're already watching on TV, started today. They think that you want to use my whole name against me. Mike, listen, man, if you can't say the name, it's Abdurrahman, keep the name out your damn mouth. I'll be happy to give you lessons. But they understand that the only way that they think they can win is to drag us into the mud, to believe the worst about each other, to believe that what divides us is bigger than what unites us. They want us to think that the reason some of us ain't got is because of other people got. But it turns out that the reason so many of us ain't got is because of the system that has corrupted our politics to take it away from us. And that is the thing that we are taking on now. That movement to get money out of politics, put money in your pocket, pass Medicare for all, it is a big movement.
How do you like Mallory McMorrow standing behind him looking like a hostage?
What?
She's like, I don't buy any of this. And by the way, she stayed in the race. She did not take her name off, or it wasn't taken off, and got 4% of the vote. So people are wondering,
I know. It's
who
so...
did that help? I don't know. But she is, come out to endorse him.
Yeah. Well, it might have been the game changer. They couldn't Pete Buttigieg him fast enough.
Yeah. In that same speech, he did say he didn't just say bitter. He said something about like ugly campaign against me in the primary. Like, he didn't totally let her off the hook. But the truth is, like, listen, it's politics. He needs to win in the general. So he's got to, he does have to appeal to more people. He can't just go with his, he has to appeal to other voters. It doesn't mean that you then adhere, that you take on their ideology. So,
yeah, if you want to soften things with the voters without changing your policy at all, yes, that's politics.
Right.
He needs to win.
Yeah.
And
that's a winning message. No money for war, money in your pocket, Medicare for all. It's simple. It appeals to everybody. Yeah.
The only thing I would change in what he said there is he said, don't look at other people like they have, so you don't have. Well, no, look at the billionaires. Look at the rich people donating to both parties that have a shit ton of stuff. And that's part of why you don't have.
He does talk about that. I think he meant like it's not immigrants.
Yeah. I get it.
Because he's pretty clear on who the enemies are.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Yeah. But listen, I'm not, I've already made it clear that I don't,
Well, you were all in on Plattner, so I just have to ask. I'm just kidding.
All right. There is a little more stuff on
Democrats. Yeah, we should take a pause and we'll come back.
Refuel.
I think
we need to refuel. Okay.
Somebody call up Oxford Commie and get her back on. We need a song real quick.
Oh, look at that!
And it lands on it. Wow.
I am not doing ads for State Farm. It's a pop-up. Sorry, it won't.
RMI. Yeah. Oh, did we do Manny yet? I liked Manny. Look, we don't feature enough rap, so here's a little rap.
That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Bro, I am fucking fed up and I have had enough. All the experts involved say 20% chance machines kill us all. All of our jobs, they gone by 2040 while insane politicians collude to do us dirty. Eating all the housing like the bubble staying sturdy while making you feel guilty for being broke but over 30. System ain't broke, it's designed as is. Shit is $8 a gallon and you still gaslit. Look at life with me, it's perfect. We had all that we need, but they burned it for one purpose, that's the service they greed. July 22nd of this 2026, we merge with the IDF to share intelligence and delegates. They blackmail through emails and island trips. Wrong is wrong, it don't make you anti-Semitic, bitch. Better get it in gear. Elon set to sell 10 million robots a year. What are we doing here? Plastic poison in my water, but you so concerned that my son wants to be my daughter. I don't care if it's turning the frogs gay. I care that fertility rates have gone way, way down. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. Look it up, bitch. Look it up. I'm fed up. I'm fed up. I ain't put this song on Spotify. 1 in 8 is all AI. The money that they make from it invested in the Palantir. It's a valid fear, a valid scream of counterculture. Label it conspiracy so everyone ignores you. 32,000 children are missing because of ice. With a fight script, they strip us of every water supply. Why's a data center need fresh water? My Honda got 1,000,000 miles off a single bottle of antifreeze. They want to charge us for the air we breathe and watch us using 6G. Burn the world to get rich quick scheme. You rich already, you dumb fuck. I hope you all bleed. Your machine god won't even like you. And fuck flock cameras.
Oh God, I love that. Look it up, bitch. That's awesome. Okay, relax.
I mean, he hit all the notes, honestly.
Yeah. That was a nice little
Manny Gray.
educational-
Manny Gray.
I love him. That was great.
Yes.
Polling outlets deserve a PR trial. Their goal is craft favorable two-party spinning. Remember election eve 2024. Kamala wins Iowa. Tuesday, Trump won Iowa plus 25. Yeah. Honestly, and thank you for your super chat. When all of those, I don't know, every poll got it so wrong for Abdul El-Sayed. And it makes me wonder, was that to be like, oh, we got it. We don't need to get everybody out. You just never know. I don't know. I don't trust anything. I feel like I'm always a mark for
It's strange to me that it was off that big, to be honest. It was very off, and it's atypical that it's off in a way that skews establishment that big of a that big of a margin now.
Right.
Which is like I can look at it and say, okay, like I said, that they invested in system. When you spend $70 million, you have systems in place to get person A to B to C. You got Palantir scrubbing people and saying, here's your voter exactly. We're going to send 5 people to their door to get them to the fucking polls.
Yeah.
And then when they don't answer the door, we're going to deliver a pizza, and then they're going to come out and pick up the pizza, and we're going to throw them in the back of a van. Like,
Yeah.
I think there was a lot of just like serious drag you to the polls shit, you know? I mean, in a different.
Yeah, but yeah, maybe that just didn't seem like part of her ground game. I mean, it was so, but maybe it was in certain areas where she felt like she could make the best impact, like in Detroit or whatever. I mean,
$70 million gets you shit that doesn't.
Yeah.
For one Senate race, it was so different than your normal Senate race because of that kind of money in one little district. I mean, it's not a small district, but one race. Like, you could put $20 million aside for the end game of getting people to the polls, like just physically getting them to the polls.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, the crazy thing is you still have to have a candidate who's likable, and every time she opened her mouth, it was worse. Like, she's almost worse than Kamala. But you know, maybe you're right. It was, you know, she had the sheen of a connection to Obama, and maybe that was enough, you know, for this. We'll see. I don't know.
But how many people, this is my point, how many people just, you have your opinion, but you don't go out to vote. You just don't do the voting. And they got those people who normally wouldn't vote. Like, we have the enthusiasm that usually doesn't register on polls because these people aren't talked to, and they show up when you have an insurgent candidate like him. But that was countered by like actually physically getting people to the polls, I think.
Yeah.
And you know, they provided all these narratives for these people to believe about the problems with his sexism, and you know, it's not like the general public bought it, but it's enough for the people who Palantir then also knows is highly likely psychologically to respond to somebody with a car in front of their house to take them to the polls. Or I'm just making that up, but I mean, like, you know, that part of their ground game, I think, is different than what they can do in most races, because they're not going to spend $70 million, and they still lost. That's the key to all of it.
Right. And so, you know, the other thing, I mean, there was so much racism, you know, because what was it? A month ago, before Plattner dropped out, there was a whole rethink by James Carville. Not that I give a shit what he says, but saying like Bernie was right. We have to go. We have to embrace the Bernie wing. Graham Plattner. I'm all in on Graham Plattner. And 3 days ago, we showed video of him saying, if Hassan Piker is in the Democratic Party, I'm out. Why?
Yeah. Like,
truly, why? You know, they'll point to things like the uncommitted movement, and then you can show that, Abdul El-Sayed ended up getting right in line, you know, the way he was supposed to, and endorsed Kamala. So that's not real.
Right.
Oh, why aren't those two coming up? I thought I was going to find it. And then, but like, what else are they upset about? Was it the 9/11 stuff that we sort of deserved 9/11 that Hassan Piker said on a stream? I don't know, but here's your pal, fucking, you know, Kagan, married to Victoria Newfield, you know, one of the biggest disgusting Iraq war pushers, you know, Robert Kagan says that, you know, it was important that we invaded Iraq. Why? He doesn't really explain that, but he says I never denied that blowback was a reality. In fact, my writing shows that when the United States is out there acting in the world, Americans tend to not even be aware of the effect of American power on other nations. And so they're constantly shocked whenever the use of American power leads to a response. The best example is Japan and Pearl Harbor. Many Americans acted like it was out of the blue when Japan attacked us, when in fact, the US pursued policies that were likely to lead to a Japanese attack. The same was true of 9/11 in the sense that it was, at least in part, a response to the American presence in the Middle East. Then he says, of course, but sometimes, many of you will die, but it's a, risk I'm willing to take, or a sacrifice.
Yeah, well, and it ignores that Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, right? It's just brown people. So yeah, it was wrong. There's blowback, but we had to respond to brown people because brown people attacked us.
Right.
Probably.
But his point is 9/11 happened because of our policies, our presence in the Middle East, right? And yes, Victoria Nuland was behind the overthrow of the democratically elected Ukrainian president in 2014. I mean, they are disgusting, warmongering, they imperialists, like just awful. But he can say that, and people, I'm sure James Carville has a ton of respect for Robert Kagan and Victoria Newfield. Yeah. What am I saying? Is that right? My brain. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, but James Carville and all these old unks. I'm an unk probably, but all these old unks, as the kids like to say, giving wisdom, like they're fear mongering about socialism, and we know the numbers on socialism. People are just like, yeah, give me some fucking socialism. Yeah. We just watched that lady say, give me some fucking communism over the Zionists.
Right?
So they're not. So carting his ass out is not winning people over. It's just maintaining the last little bit of the base that CNN and MSNBC have of the older people that buy their propaganda.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't work on young people at all.
It doesn't. And again, as you just said, even that older woman, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we can move on to some of the other stuff that's going on. But, this was like 2 days before, one day before, what's today, the 4th, the 5th? Yeah, Monday. Kshama Sawant told Newsweek she doesn't plan to be a team player and is running to disrupt Washington politics. She's so scary, which is exactly what we
I love that ad. That ad is, that's
what we need.
Put that on my resume. Like these people don't, I guess they understand, but like their audience is the people that are going to be so scared that they donate to the Democrats or something against her. But like the public is like, yes, go do that.
The thing where we said fighters, it wasn't to see what's that Delaro lady with her purple hair pretend dancing in an Instagram video, right? And then this, I have to say, I also liked, it's too bad that Cori Bush lost. The most expensive primary before the Michigan one from last night was the one against Cori Bush, where AIPAC supported Wesley Bell. So she ran against him, was not even close, which is really unfortunate.
But her race did not get national attention at all. And I think that's I don't know who's at fault in her loss, honestly, but.
Well, her good friend, squad member, AOC, didn't come out to support her because AOC took her oath that she wasn't going to support anybody who was an insurgent. But okay, she sort of, whatever. Anyway, I mean, if you have any principles and you want somebody who you think is going to be a fighter for the causes and the policies that you think are desperately needed, then you say, I thought that was going to happen, but there's no way we can continue to have this AIPAC stooge Wesley Bell in Congress. We need her. So sorry, I guess I lied. But also, I have to say, like, somebody posted a video of her and AOC on the steps when they were sleeping out for, remember, like an eviction moratorium at the beginning of COVID. They were like fighting against that, and they got like a small win or like a 90-day moratorium or something. And somebody in the crowd said, well, but what's going to happen after those 90 days? Like, can we try to fight for something bigger? And one of their staff members turned the music up so they could avoid his, stop shitting all over our happy moment. And then she and AOC started like dancing to ignore the question of like, what do we do in 90 days? So then I was kind of like, I mean, whatever the fuck, I don't even care. But anyway, I do like this answer. Cori Bush on Wesley Bell. He is actually, in my opinion, a Republican. When I ask if she'd support him against the GOP nominee this fall if he wins the primary, Bush replies, "See myself voting for Republican? Oh, I don't think that's on the ballot for me." And yeah, that I like. Like, do not, of course not. There's no unity behind somebody like that. If you can unify for Wesley Bell, then it's good that you're not in Congress, right? So I do like that, but yeah.
Amen.
All right. Should we move over to the winning, which is not
should.
an option? Oh, yeah.
Should.
We should eventually.
Forcing the wheel on us all.
All right, here we go. I need my wine.
Shout out to my actual beer, Cash Crop. Pretty good.
What's your actual beer?
It's from Oakland, California. One of my favorite brewers. That just all the beers taste the same. Original pattern brewing.
I love
but
it.
they have a different name on a beer like every day.
Oh, that's fun.
It's like constantly. It's probably the same beer, like all of it. But they have like 1,000 different beers. Anyway, it's delicious. What do we land on?
All right, we're gonna do Lol. This is Andre De Freitas talking about identity politics.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No! God, please, no!
Nations divided in a different way than we are in Europe. In Europe, we're divided by class. Here, you're divided by race. Race is such a big topic. Everyone's talking about it constantly. Every conversation. As soon as I got here, people were like, "Portugal, what are you? You Hispanic? You Latino? I don't know. Just a guy." This dude goes, "Where are your parents born?" And I was like, "Well, my mother was born in Portugal and my father was born in Mozambique." And this dude goes, "You black?" I'm like, I don't think so. Because you come from the white part or black part of Mozambique. Before I could even answer this question, this other black comedian heard the conversation and goes, "Man, look at this guy's lips. Look at his nose. This motherfucker's black." I never thought I'd be informed I'm black. Listen, in her defense, she didn't say this motherfucker's black. She used a different word. But I don't think I've been in the community long enough. Because that's the thing I realized, that identity politics is such a big thing here, right? People's trying to tell you where they're from. I'm talking to this guy, he goes, "You know, I'm Italian." And I was like, "Oh, io parlo un poco di italiano perché mia ex ragazza è d'Italia." And he goes, "I don't speak Italian." I'm like, "What part of Italy you from?" "New Jersey." So me and this guy, right, we're talking for about 15 minutes. 15 minutes in the conversation, he feels comfortable, so he leans out and he goes, "I want to ask you a question. Over in Europe, what do you guys think about the trans?" I was like, "I have never thought about that." He goes, "Let me tell you what I think. You know, these people ask you a question, they don't care what you have to say, they're just waiting for you to stop talking so they can start talking." He goes, "What does it say on their birth certificate? Man. Were they born a woman? No. Were they born with a vagina? No. So?" And I'm like, "Do you speak Italian?" "What does it say on your birth certificate?" He goes, "That's different. My mother's Italian." And I'm like, "Brother, what I'm about to tell you is gonna blow your fucking mind. Every single trans person in the world has a mother who's a woman. In fact, you're as trans as you are Italian." To which he replied, "That's fucking racist." And I'm like, "Bro, how dare you call me racist? Me, a black man."
He's good.
That's good, right?
Yeah, I liked him.
I'd never seen him before, but I liked his vibe. I thought that was a good, like...
Yeah. I mean, the trans issue is such a, like... it's so stupid. Who the fuck cares? Like, how can you be a freedom person and really care about any, even if you think that a decision is wrong, it's whatever, like you're a freedom person. Like,
it's crazy. I mean, and obviously we know why Republicans do that. It was really heartbreaking to see so many people that we had thought we were allies with turn on trans people for the Rage Against the War Machine bullshit. But yeah.
Yep.
Very sad. All right, let's move on to winning. Not an option. I mean, they deleted this, but like, this is from the Department of War. Like, this is a government department putting out this message. Like, who fucks it up that badly?
It's pretty unbelievable to do that. Like, I mean, an intern would be fired. Like,
yeah. Not an option. So, you know, Trump is really going through it. He's having like huge, yes, that is real to us. It actually is. It's so funny. I mean, it's real. He's just having meltdown after meltdown. On Saturday, actually, let me put these up really quickly because it was just like, what is going on? I think, you know, he has always succeeded even when he fails, right? So I think that there was a thought that, you know, he did the Venezuela kidnapping and that was a day and he feels like that was a big success. And, you know, as horrifying and against international law as what the U.S. did with Maduro and like taking over a country basically, and what we're trying to do with Cuba. But he did, I mean, he was successul. Like, it's awful.
Yeah, he can,
I hate it, but like he did, right?
He can count that as a win to his people.
Right. And also, you know, Democrats have been part of that whole operation all along with the, you know, the Juan Guaido and the will never be a socialist and all that kind of, you know, stuff. But this Iran thing is really getting to him. So he does these sort of bombastic tweets and he's angry and he talks to them like, you're the scum and you better do what we're talking about and open that straight, all caps right now and like whatever. And then for a few hours, he was just posting one meme after another. This was in the middle of the night, Saturday. Same guy, even more energy now, whatever. This is President Trump ages in reverse. I mean, he's just like pushing out AI slop of himself.
I can't imagine like the audacity of the last one. Like, this is kind of funny trolling, I guess, but like aging in reverse when we see him on TV as this out of shape mess of a guy who's, you know, farting and shitting his pants and people behind him are having reactions and like no one's buying it. His people. He's got a meme for his people because that's all that's left for his audience, but who Republicans must hate it all. Honestly, like behind the scenes, they're just like, how do we survive as a party next after Trump? Because Trump got through this because he's dunking on everybody.
Right.
But the next Republican, they're going to have a little of that dunking on everybody meme kind of thing, you know, but.
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
Well, but things are too serious for that. After Trump can coast with it, but he doesn't care about winning the election. So they have to put up with like 20 tweets about Trump using AI, showing he's Jesus.
Yeah.
Which his own people hate the mostest.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, the thing that we were talking about on Sunday when he got the call from the Saudis and who were representing the Gulf countries saying, this will destroy us. But he knew that didn't matter. What mattered was the second part of that, because he already knew that.
They threatened his income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we're destroyed, we can't do all these different deals. We can't give you money for your thing in Albania. We can't give you money for your board of peace, or, you know, like we can't give money to your billionaire tech guys because they were heavily funding AI stuff. So that was what actually, you know, turned him.
Which shows again that Democrats could stop Trump anytime they want by threatening to prosecute him for breaking the law. Like, there's so many clear violations of the law. All you have to say is, if you do this, when we take over, we are going to put you in jail for fucking 50 years. You're going to die in jail because you got like 6 years left maximum. But
I mean, they could be doing something, and they have done absolutely nothing. And there's even talk, even though right now, Schumer and Haley Stevens and Whitmer all got behind Abdul El-Sayed in statements and said, the most important thing is beating Mike Rogers in November. But it'll be interesting to see if they actually help or hurt him in that endeavor, because the truth is they would prefer not to be in power in the Senate and Congress when they get to 2028, because then things will be blamed on them. And this way they can be like, well, it wasn't us. So they would rather the war continue, economic devastation, the climate catastrophes, people, living in their cars, than be in power. Yeah. So
completely. And do not be shocked when Haley Stevens revokes her endorsement.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Something's going to happen. She's like, well, now it's too far. I can't do it. Yeah. I mean, she had $70 million for Israel. She was, she had that speech where she's like, I dream about Israel, Yeah. So she's bought by them. Her next step just isn't, they haven't paid for the next step yet with her. And the next step is going to be unendorse him for Israel.
Exactly.
And that's going to carry a lot of weight with her followers,
A horrific anti-Semite. We're going to get all the, Jake Tappers and Dana Bash and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, in 2020, Haley Stevens backed Mike Bloomberg.
Right.
So that's
all the Democrats did if it was stopping Bernie.
100%. But when he would yes, that of course they all.
She was early,
but she actually said it out loud as opposed to endorsing even Biden, right? So she's a hardcore right winger, and it is just amazing to see. I mean, I don't know if this was CNN, but just to see Vance, Rubio, Cruz talking about Trump before and after, and it's all just corrupt money and careerism. I mean, that's all it is. And so to have Vance now try to distance himself from the Iran war, it doesn't matter. You're in this administration and you're doing a genocide. You're continuing the genocide and the ethnic cleansing and obliteration of Gaza and the West Bank. End this war in Iran, and you are a fraud. This was him 10 years ago.
Trump is a really bad candidate, and frankly, I think a really bad person.
The simple fact is, he's the best president of my lifetime.
And you know how you make America great again? Tell Donald Trump to go to hell.
To President Trump, you saved the world. God bless you.
And Donald is indicating the fear that keeps him up at night when he lashes out with anger. Donald, you're a sniveling coward.
What I like best about President Trump is his courage and fearlessness.
There is no way we are going to allow a con artist to take over the conservative movement, and Donald Trump is a con artist.
Don't play games with this president's in office, because it's not going to turn out well.
I mean, I have to think that all of those people have no shot in 2028, right? I mean, obviously, Lindsey Graham might have a little bit of a shot.
It's a layup to Democrats take over next. It's the easiest election to win on earth. If you really want to win it, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, all you got to do is counter that, show that stuff, show how their personal economic fortunes all took off. Rubio made a ton of money. Vance makes a ton of money. Israel, and we're all opposed. Show the popular opinion. I don't know why people that make Democratic Party advertisements are so bad at it. It's not complicated to make something that just shows everybody who these people are in 30 seconds.
But then you have to ask yourself, right? They know how to try to take people out. They know how to fight against Bernie and Graham Plattner, and they tried their hardest with El-Sayed, Cori Bush. They know how to get rid of these people effectively when they want to. I mean, now they're going to have to change
from
a
their
little
own
bit, but
from their own party, sure, yes.
But they don't. they don't mind having Trump. I mean, I know we all know this, but like, what would they say? Like, what was Haley Stevens' platform? Stick it to them. Like, what does that mean? Nothing, right? And now, I mean, this is interesting. I do not want any of these people, but here is Marjorie Taylor Greene with a posse of people in Maine at Tucker Carlson's whatever cabin, lol. We said no more foreign wars, and we meant it, and supported Donald Trump because he made that promise. But he's betrayed us all. Our commitment is America first for all Americans, right, left, and center. The movement has begun.
Yeah, the rebranding has begun. That's all that is. It's the rebranding. They'll be part of the Republican Party. It's
whether they're a third party or not.
Yeah, it's just that the temperament is for something outside of politics. So look at them and look at their candidate, and then, we're not part of the Republican Party, but we're going to run as a Republican because that's where the platform is, because it's a duopoly. So I'm Tucker Carlson. I'm not really supportive of the duopoly anymore.
Yeah.
But then he runs as a Republican, wins as a Republican. MAGA Part 2, the only difference is Israel.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I think the difference is that if you're on the right, and this is why, like, there is a difference between right and left, even if you're anti-war, if you are on the right, you still have funding. You still have the same donors. So even if they decide to form a new party, they would have hundreds of millions of dollars behind them, Koch brothers, whatever, because I don't know.
Because their core belief is trickle-down economics from the 80s.
It's the same. They are xenophobes. They want closed borders. They are not going to be fighting for Medicare for all or a living wage. They are, what they say when they say America first is close the borders, get all the black and brown people out, and
they can run on healthcare. And they can point to the Democrats and say, you guys did nothing on this. And then when the Democrats fired back that Trump did nothing on this, they're like, well, we're anti-Trump. We're for the people. He was stupid on Israel. That's why the money didn't go to your healthcare. But we're anti-Israel. So, here's the money.
Yeah. So that's, no, I just said stick it to him, but I kind of lisped my way through it. Yeah. But they are just so lost. This is from the White House, an ad for tobacco and what is it called? Zyn, nicotine in the military. Meanwhile, excuse me, at the same time, they are actually getting more military recruits now because, the poorer they make the whole country, the more people are looking for any way out of poverty. So that's how you get people in the military. But they just they're arresting the spouses and parents of active duty or retired military for, and sending and trying to deport them and putting them in ice cages. And I mean, I don't even understand how they think that is going to mesh, because that is really where I mean, I know I've been saying this, it hasn't happened yet, but I do think that is where the civil war will happen, is people who at least think that they are doing something because they took an oath to the Constitution, and they are coming often from poor communities when they come into the military, which is disproportionately black and brown. And they do have more family members who are going to be, killed by ICE or cops because of that. So it's a really poorly thought out strategy that that those allowances for people and families of people who serve in the military, like a more lenient path to immigration, has been yanked away, because now what? What are they even thinking?
Well, all we need is 100 good men on a lot of steroids and peptides and purple juice. I don't know. Was that a thing anymore? And the tobacco helps, all these guys think at night.
I guess so. They just want you all amped up. So here's the White House ad for nicotine patches.
Along the way, we consume more than 6 million meals, and by my estimate, more than 950,000 gallons of coffee, 2 million energy drinks, and a lot of nicotine.
So they're promoting these, Philip Morris zine patches or zine chew.
Yeah, all this goes back to the idiots on the left that enabled RFK Jr. with his anti-COVID, anti-science shit. He's in charge of our healthcare now, and you fucking dunces followed him over to the right on all this stuff.
Yep. Oh my God. All right. Okay. Let's move on to Israel. Right?
Really? Are we?
No, but I mean, first we have to spin for sure. I wasn't gonna not spin. What? Yeah.
What?
Sure. Okay, here we go. Here we go. God, I was wondering. I didn't have to like call an audible again. Okay, wait 1 second. Stop. Okay. I kept going. Almost done with that bottle.
Gizmo.
All right, 1 sec. Spin the gizmo. All right.
Oh. So this one is a cartoon over an actual interview. So the whole audio is actually straight from the interview with Elon Musk.
I love watching your TikTok, which is next level. Clearly, that's expressed by my 13-year-old son.
No, God, please, no, no.
Some people do loathe you.
Yes, some people do.
But do you understand why? Do you think what you're doing is helpful for Western democracy?
Maybe some people do loathe me. And that's probably true. I don't care. But the fact that, as you pointed out, 250 million people follow me is that I think a lot more people actually like me than don't. And I think a lot more people hate you and the media more than you realize. Do you realize the media is despised? Do you realize that journalists, the view of journalists is like, it's like a favorable view of journalists is like 15%.
I do know that. In the United States.
So the shoe is on the other foot. They hate you. They hate you far more than they hate me.
I wish we had shown that. Oh.
What is the ghost? This is scary. Lila, what's
Elon
with the
Musk.
ghost?
I wrote something shitty about Elon Musk today, so maybe that's what's going on. Well, how did that just happen?
What is happening there?
I don't know. I think
It's wild.
What should I do?
All right, I'm going to play a pup while you fix that.
Okay, I'm going to exit and come back.
Drama Cats, here you go. Thank you, Truth. You said this one. Okay, we showed that
already.
I was just going to turn it off myself. I couldn't hit the button fast. The ghost of Lila passed. This is really
leaving.
fucking scary.
I had to correct you. Now I'm leaving.
What is going on there? All right, we got surf dogs from somewhere in LA competition thing. All right, Lala's not back. That just means we're spinning the wheel, but it's dealer's choice. So we're gonna have RMI. This is Zero Dude again. Over Mamdani's speech. She's gonna be sad she missed it. Tell her it was the best thing she ever saw in life.
That is why the man said this revolution will be telepathic.
Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children, as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces, more than 8 months after the so-called ceasefire. The list goes on and on, all as we, as Americans, pay for the bombs that do the killing. There is a reason the International Criminal Court issued a warrant for his arrest. As human beings, we have spent generations building a shared understanding that there are crimes so grave they offend all of humanity. Anyone, with their eyes, with their heart, with their conscience, should recognize the devastation he has wrought and understand that he belongs before a court of law.
Lila the ghost.
I don't know
the
what
ghost,
to do.
The ghostess with the mostest.
It's not. It's crazy.
Wait, you're back.
Oh, yeah, but why does it look so weird? Stop it. All right, I'm not going to touch anything.
No, you're back to wait. I don't know why you keep switching. You're back. You're normal now, ish.
Ish.
Ish, but you're not a ghost.
Well, that was.
I mean, I was going to play another 4 Lego videos to make people happier if I had to.
I don't. Wait. Let me. Deek, deek, deek. 46. That's where I'm going to keep it. Weird. I don't even know why that happened. That's bizarre. All right. Smoke show. I like that. Thank you, Dave. But I also missed the fun video, but okay. I'm just very pale. Yeah, I kind of am anyway. Wait 1 second. Let me just see what's going to happen. Sometimes that kind of like helps reset. Weird. Okay. You know, as much as like what we talked about at the beginning with what Hamas did on October 7th set a chain of, a chain of events that will force empire and colonial outposts to re-examine or fall completely. Israel continues, like it's amazing because there are no boundaries. Nobody has forced them to stop in 20 years.
Yeah.
And, just was this yesterday? What's today? No, today. Israeli Knesset committee approves around $110 million for settlement expansion. Illegal. It's a crime. The Israeli Knesset Finance Committee held a special session Tuesday during the election recess to approve 335 million shekels, which is $110 million about, for settlement expansion, which would raise the Israeli Settlement Ministry's budget for the year to a record 821 million shekels, not including the 944 million shekels it is committed for future settlements. And we're watching just these pogroms every day, setting homes on fire, setting orchards on fire, killing livestock, arresting children and adults. And I mean, and they're being, we know they're being helped by the IDF, by the Israeli government. Clearly, their Congress or whatever, their Knesset is investing in this, because how do you have a greater Israel without expanding your stolen land?
It's such an opportunity for the worst people on earth who have the worst beliefs on earth just get a house. You know what I mean? Like, have a land and house. And we showed, was it last week or whatever? We showed the family that was going to go over maybe it wasn't even on here. I don't know.
It was not. Was it your other show?
My other show. But some guy posted about the video of him and his family going over to take some land. Like, this is our Jewish
right. It's
Right.
it's
It's
our
like,
birthright.
here we go. We're doing it. We're doing it. Live streaming the event of us going to Israel and to Palestine and taking some property.
And the bloodlust that Abdul El-Sayed was talking about is absolutely accurate. This was maybe you're talking about this from the BBC. This is in the West Bank, and he's a rabbi talking about the revenge they want to take on all Palestinians because the premium of Jewish life is worth 10 million Palestinians.
It sounds like you're saying one Jewish life is worth hundreds or thousands of Palestinian lives.
Not million. One Jewish life, it's 10 million, okay?
That just sounds racist.
Yes, I know. I know, but this is the truth. Because God chose us. Because of this, you are jealous.
I mean, like, nobody's jealous of you. We just despise you. The world despises you. They are also stealing more land in Lebanon. And this is how it's reported on. New bases, raised villages, IDF entrenching itself deep inside southern Lebanon. They are stealing land of a sovereign nation. That's what they're doing, entrenching themselves. This was also crazy. There was this article in the AP talking about a drone attack was going to happen in Syria. And the IDF soldiers who were manning the drone from afar realized that their targets had long curls. So they were, very religious Jews, right?
Yeah.
In Syria. So this is from the article. Israeli military was about to launch a nighttime strike on a group of men in southern Syria when the soldiers noticed the long curls dangling from the temples of their targets. The troops held their fire. These were not Syrian militants attempting to breach Israel's border, but religious Jews who had slipped in. I mean, look at that. Not Syrian militants attempting to breach Israel's border. Does Israel have borders? Because I don't know. They seem to think the whole region is theirs. But religious Jews, so all of a sudden, a little bit elevated, who had slipped into Syria and were on the way back. The episode, first reported last week by Israel's public broadcaster and confirmed to the Associated Press by the Israeli military, has helped raise the profile of a fringe group of Israeli settlers that has staged numerous incursions into Syria where they hope to establish Jewish settlements. All of that language is such a gentle way of saying these are fanatic terrorists who breached Syria's borders in order to steal their land, do pogroms against Syrian citizens they've already destroyed Syria, but now they're stealing their land. But in the AP's language, it was religious Jews who are hoping to settle there.
Accident. Slipped as an accident.
On their way back. Yeah. And that's how
And
that's how they are talked about.
I mean, I'm hopeful that them slipping their way back means they were getting shot at. So, by citizens. But I mean, this is what we said before, that making this all about Iran right now is not really what is curbing Israel's expansion? Nothing. Because okay, we stopped what's happening in Iran, but that's cover because that's the news story while they keep expanding into Syria, while they keep devastating Palestine, while they keep, so a political solution with electing people to office to stop this is never going to get us close to doing what needs to happen 3 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
I mean, the fact that 3 years into a genocide, the AP is still writing about these terrorists. They are
language.
Terrorists. Yeah, was such a soft touch. It is every single settlement is illegal. I mean, the state of Israel is illegal, right? It's not a democracy. So the fact that this is still happening is actually sort of terrifying. And then, I mean, this is just horrific. There was the mass funeral today or yesterday. Palestinians in Gaza held a mass funeral for 112 members of the Hassaina and Abu Sharia families. The remains were recovered from beneath the rubble nearly 3 years after an Israeli airstrike killed them. The victims included 40 children, 38 women, 7 people with disabilities. It was the largest mass funeral in Gaza's history. And I will say, it just always is so sad to me that children and women, elderly, it's like anybody but men. There were also men who were slaughtered. And for what? Like, for what? It's just horrific. And meanwhile,
I don't know. You know, I've noticed the news is giving more coverage to sort of, I mean, our views a little bit are getting covered on mainstream media, but it's not covering any of that stuff. You know, it's sort of like, okay, they're acknowledging that public opinion has changed by showing this story here and there.
Right.
It's the most we can get out of the mainstream media is a little bit of our opinions represented, but like that also placates us thinking, well, oh, NPR is covering it, things are getting better, right? Or not that NPR wouldn't cover it. I mean,
yeah.
But when you see these media sources covering it and they say, oh, it affected the elections. Okay, but what's changing in our policy? What is changing? That's why you need Shama Swans, because give me the DSA plan to change things too. I'll vote for the DSA guys, but like we can't just go along with the system. You need to just get a spotlight on every evil fucker around you in the Senate and the House and say, this motherfucker supports this. You know,
when Shama Swant said to Crystal Ball, who was doing such heavy work trying to say how great it was that DSA candidates were in Congress and it's working. And she's like, but the genocide happened with what you're saying, like those people in Congress, and they did nothing but support Biden and Kamala and then lie that they were fighting tirelessly for a ceasefire.
Yeah, but they're pointing, they're drawing attention to it, which means we'll elect more DSA members in 2 more years and get us that much closer to a change. So that's that theory of politics it's not getting us there. I mean, yes, elect those guys, but don't think we didn't change the US by electing 10 more DSA members or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. Especially when they're asked, what's your first priority? And the answer is, well, we don't know. We're not going to be a majority, so we don't know what we'll be able to do. Right now, we're just here to support. Come on. It's like the turn the music up on the Capitol steps and dance away to ignore the question being asked, which is, what is happening? What are you doing?
Right. If you're going to tell your own supporters or lefty people that now is not the time, essentially, because now's not the time to criticize what our strategy is because we're taking over.
Yep.
Well, your theory of taking over is such a fucking 20-year plan.
Yeah.
So yes, we're going to criticize the fuck out of you until we get some policy changes.
Yep. 100%. And I mean, yes, sorry, because there were, from the same 2 families, 320 people killed on one night 3 years ago. And also the operation lasted 136 hours. That's right. 1 attack. And also, you know, every part of everything that's happening in Gaza and West Bank and Palestine and Lebanon and Yemen and Syria and like, it's all so horrific. When you know that people in your family are under rubble, you can't get to them, you hear them crying out, they're still alive, and you can't get to them. And then when you finally are able to, and Israel doesn't try to kill you while you're trying to, you know, get your loved ones back, and then there are parts of their remains, they're decomposed, you know, dogs and rats have gotten to them. I mean, like, every step of it is meant to be barbaric and cruel in ways that, like, it is all what we always were taught about Nazis. I mean, it is so beyond anything I ever imagined I would see again in my life. And these people were forced to document it on their own, and still nobody did anything. Nothing.
Sorry, I'm dumping my cat in her little couch and she doesn't want it. She's gone. She doesn't like the couch. You know what? Next show, I'm going to put a box up here. We'll see if a box.
Oh, that's a good idea. I like that.
No, but yeah, we're not changing the world with some more DSA members. We're not, good. Let's get some more in there. But it's going to take a lot more than that. And all these people will suffer through all that. Like, look, if somebody did something to strike, I'm hunting them down. Right?
Yep.
Imagine how you're going to feel about life when the whole world is letting this happen and hundreds of your family have been killed, direct family, like your actual lineage. And then there's no news on it. And it's like, oh, the U.S. is acting like, Israel has made a peace deal and they're.
Oh my God. And the Board of Peace and all of it. And to see, like, they wouldn't let bulldozers in to pull away all the rubble, heavy bricks, concrete, because it could be repurposed for some terrorist way. But Israel is using Caterpillar bulldozers to just run over people, bury them alive, and then also to clear out now all of their war crimes and haul it away. So no journalists are allowed in, no Red Cross or peacekeepers or any mission to do an actual investigation of all of Israel's war crimes. And they're going to do what they're just going to pave everything over. And then who knows? Everybody has a different point of view.
But it really just exposes how the Democrats exist, because your base is saying it's a genocide, and you're not even saying let's hold them to account to let journalists in. Like, you can't take that bare basic exposure to a camera and make that your lobbying point. Like, it's so easy. You don't even have to be you can pretend to be pro-Israel entirely and just say, look, the public is screaming for some journalists. I think it's time we get some journalists in. I demand that Netanyahu, make it about Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Do it. But you can't even do it. You could just vaguely make things about Netanyahu, and you can't call for anything to actually change at all.
Well, and this is why so many people are hesitant to call it a genocide. I mean, there are a lot of Zionist Jews who don't want to call it a genocide because they feel some proprietary ownership over the horrors of the Holocaust, as though there weren't other horrific Holocausts happening in the 20th century. But that has become like this enshrined, only Jews went through a Holocaust, right? Ask Congo how that went for them 20 years before. But the other reason is that is a specific definition that is accompanied by legal consequences. And so if we, as the United States, funded, armed, gave political cover to a genocide that we knew was a genocide when it was happening, then all of a sudden we are also culpable in a legal way that nobody in power wants to be, which is also like why they want to dismantle the ICC, right?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. Like, says who? Says, like, there is no international law anymore. So that part of it's, we're not even pretending. We're just like, oh, look, anyone calling us out, they're the bad guys, period. And they just hate America. They hate our freedoms because we're going to, do what we want with our money. America first, which is all of our own money going to killing Palestinian kids and Iranian kids and Syrian kids and people in the Congo and,
And Ukraine. I mean, there are videos, like hundreds of videos of Ukrainian men being kidnapped off the street to just go be used as cannon fodder. And like the kids crying. There was actually we didn't pull the clip, but like a de-arrest of or de-kidnapping of a Ukrainian man, and the whole community just kind of like came around him. But like, it's hard to do that everywhere where you might just be captured off the street. But the fact that Ukraine now just struck a Turkish cargo ship, right? So Ukraine strikes a Turkish-owned cargo ship transporting fruit and vegetables to Russia in the Black Sea, injuring several crew members. What happens when a non-NATO country, Israel, strikes a NATO country? Does Article 5 kick in? What happens? Like nothing, apparently. What happens in this, we're fighting for democracy in Ukraine, where it's like, the most corrupt country in the world, in Europe, whatever, I guess in Europe. And they're kidnapping people off the street. They've canceled elections. They have prohibited the Russian language. And they're losing also. They're losing, right? So like, that doesn't even seem to matter. None of it seems to matter because and here's the thing, it all comes down to capitalism and the last throes of dying empire. And this is what it looks like. And there are going to be a lot of people who are destroyed on our way out of being the global hegemon. And
Absolutely. And it's going to get so much worse for us here because people have put up with us. The world has put up with us because of capitalism, because we were a big market, because we used to manufacture things, because of our armies, essentially, right? So we've lost our military prowess in the world. We aren't doing the goodwill stuff anymore. Yep. We don't economically make enough product to distribute to, like, they can get everything that we make from other countries now.
Right.
We're going to be so broke because the pivot to our economy falling makes us not the big market to sell to anymore either.
That's right.
Because we can't afford to buy shit. And so you couple all that stuff with our president fucking putting tariffs on things, telling every fucking ally in the world, fuck you, as we flaunt our disregard for international law. There's, we can't expire faster. Like, that's the one thing Trump is doing is wrecking our country exponentially fast. Like, it's just,
I mean, that will make the world a better place eventually, I hope. Because there's a different theory of control. And it's not that, like, obviously China and Russia and Iran, like every empire has its evil, right? So
yeah,
but
I don't
like
love either of those countries.
Right. But like the theory of how to spread your soft power or to leverage your power over other countries, and also the government's relationship to the capital class is very different. We are wholly owned by the capital class. There is no thought about our citizens at all. And
but it's just really exposed that all we have left is force.
That's it. Yep.
Right? We just have force. Period.
I thought, this is the other thing. NorCal, what do you mean? Every Wednesday at 5. Get in here. And this is the other part, but this is also what is so enraging. Just the way Saudi Arabia could, say, listen, if we are destroyed, then, if Iran attacks us, then our infrastructure is destroyed, which I know you don't care about that. But if we have no money or capital to invest in all of your projects or your own family businesses, that's also an issue. And they could leverage their power because of their financial weight, but they didn't choose to do it for Palestinians, right? China owns these rare earth minerals, which we need for all of our military missiles and planes and all the shit that we, spend $1.5 trillion and still lose to Ansar Allah and Iran. That we've been preparing for 47 years for this big war, right? But we can't.
Those countries, they should be helping. Yeah. They should be helping. It's this is why you don't idolize any country, any ideology, communist, whatever. be communist. I'm not saying that, but like, you can't just say that system's great. That system's great.
Right.
There's no great system out there. There's no world power, especially out there. But even in their lack, it's our fault largely that they're lacking, because they're looking at their economies and they're saying, let the U.S. cook. The U.S. is failing now. We could do these things that change things, but look at how fast public opinion and support for the U.S. is falling. So that benefits them economically. So that makes them less likely to get involved to help Palestine.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty devastating. I feel like I know it's getting late, but wait, I just want to make sure I haven't. I know. I mean, Kat, I feel this every day. I feel like so many of us feel this, which is, it's like what Oxford Commie said earlier. It's what I think we all say so much of the time is like, we have to just remember what it is we're fighting for and what we're so angry that's being withheld from us that we deserve, all of us, and also just finding community. So like, these 3 shows a week are something I do really look forward to, because it's hard to find community and going out in your actual neighborhood and meeting people and helping people, all of that. But it's pretty devastating because it feels like so much has to change, right? I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to change the world overnight, but we're in a revolutionary period where something can spark off and make a lot of change quickly. And I think we're all waiting for that. But in the meantime, you can gather as much as you can, whether it's online or in person, with people that are ready that agree that this system's fucked. And that's like, to me, like when they always ask that question, what's life about? Life to me is a barbecue, right?
Yeah.
It's like, get together with your people, have fun. You're not going to complain about the world all the time with those people, and like find some community, but make those people your leftist friends, not your, invite your random MAGA guy to be the odd guy.
Maybe you'll convince him, and maybe you'll convince somebody, and
Luigi time in Minecraft.
It is
more.
Thank you to us. And I saw, sorry, as I was scrolling back up, that you have COVID. I'm so sorry. I hope you have an easy recovery, radical rest. I hope you are able to just rest. Don't push yourself. Rest. But I'm sorry. And thank you for your super chat. And I hope you feel better soon. And sorry, because I think we missed this. Yeah, Carville is a mess. Like, why he ever can open his mouth ever? What's he done? He and his ilk have given us a right-wing Republican light party and two Trump regime.
Well, that's what they've really done. But like, look at their pretense for having him on. You have that guy on as some sort of guidance to the party. And if you just look at electoral wins, the guy hasn't won in 25 fucking years.
Yeah.
So why would you have a guy on who hasn't won in 25 years, whose ideology is cooked? Like,
yeah, me too. And if one helps, if you listen, if we know that one glass helps, right?
Why not two?
I thought I just love this man every time he opens his mouth, but it really, all of if you still have any liberal friends, should see this so they understand what capitalism is. This is Jason Hickel. I'm sure, everybody knows him, but he's talking about capitalism is class war, is exploitation, and this is where it always leads.
People often think that capitalism is just a system of markets and businesses and trade, et cetera, et cetera. This is fundamentally not true. Markets and businesses and trade pre-existed capitalism for thousands of years. What makes capitalism distinctive is that it is an economic system where production is organized around maximizing profit. You maximize profit by pushing down your input costs as much as possible. And the key inputs to all production are, of course, labor and resources. Now, you can do that domestically in your own population only to a certain extent, because eventually you're going to face a revolution from your working classes, and you're going to undermine the ecological basis of your production. And so from its very founding, capitalism has always required some kind of outside, a periphery, from where it can obtain cheap labor and resources on a massive scale and suppress any rebellions with impunity and externalize the costs, right? And that's why, with the rise of capitalism, the European colonial project got underway, invading and colonizing territories in the global south to organize their production around plantations and mines, etc., for export to the core. And so capitalism in the core states has always depended on this arrangement. And during the 20th century, with the rise of the anti-colonial movements, this was a huge threat to the core states. At this point, they faced a choice. Either we accept decolonization abroad and we shift to some kind of post-capitalist economy, or we intervene somehow to restore the imperial arrangement. And that's exactly what they did. They opted very hard for the latter, and they did that in the form of invasions and coups against sovereign-seeking states in the global south, deposing most of the leading anti-colonial governments in the global south, including in Ghana, Indonesia, and Chile, installing in their place typically right-wing dictators that were willing to go along with Western economic interests. That's basically the model that capitalism in the West depends on, and anything that threatens that arrangement is responded to typically with violence. Today it's Palestine, Iran, and Lebanon, and also Venezuela and Cuba. Previously, of course, it was Vietnam and Laos and North Korea. It's a never-ending process of brutal Western intervention and invasion, and if we understand that the underlying structural driver is the imperatives of capital accumulation in the core, which requires interventions against sovereign-seeking states and the global south, and the prevention of any liberation movements in the global south from arising, then I think we have to understand that the ultimate solution to this is, of course, to transition to a post-capitalist economy. This is imperative.
He's so brilliant, and I know we all know the ideas behind what he said, but he just sort of he's so eloquent. He gets it right out there. And when people talk about Zionism, and I totally agree, but then they talk about, oh, it's the Jews. And it's right now, yes, it's the Jewish state of Israel. And that was a brilliant marketing campaign, which was then accelerated and, put into even more full relief after the Holocaust. But the colonial projects of exploitation have, preceded Zionism. And so his explanation of it, I think, is a great way to talk to people who accuse us of anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Because that's not what it is, obviously. I know we all know that, but it's just, he's so eloquent. He's just really smart.
But in the model he paints, it's also it's framed in what's good for society here, not what's good for people, but the economy. This is how capitalism has thrived in the US because of this stuff, right? The colonialism, the finding the weak countries and exploiting them and whatnot. But we're losing our power in that area. So if you even look at if you look at all this self-interested from an America perspective, we have to change the system because we don't have that power to do that anymore in the way we used to. The world is turning against us. They have other economic options than dealing with an evil country like the US. Right. And so it's in our own self-interest economically to change this system.
I mean, absolutely 100%. Yes. We must. The planet can't survive this. We won't survive. They are, and as we are watching floods and wildfires and, what was this oil giant's profit, 90 billion from price surges as climate crisis engulfs Europe. The temperatures are so high, thousands of people are dying, wet bulb summer, the wildfires that, have always been around, but the spread of them increases it's amplified by fossil fuels, and nobody is doing anything. Like, what were those Paris Accords for? It was just for everybody to hang out in some fancy place. Where did they, where? Paris? Was it in Paris? Some fancy Davos crowd in Paris. But like nothing's gotten better. And we are on a path to the death of 4 billion people in the next couple of decades. And now we're getting think pieces in The Atlantic and Washington Post about how that's what needs to happen if humanity is to survive. We need, 4 billion people will probably have to die. And that's not true, but that is more propaganda.
It's a mess. And I think another part of it that I always think of is that capitalism is a monster. Like, don't think of it as a system. Think of it as like you built this Frankenstein, you built this monster, and now it's unleashed. And so the people benefiting from capitalism don't care about anything else. They don't care long term. They don't care about this country. They don't care about people. Yep. It's just we have this system that's run amok to the point that they will buy their way to keep their shitty system that wrecks the entire fucking world as much as possible. And our system is just let it go even further and further. And there's nothing is curbing it. We can't have, if you have some Elizabeth Warren sort of like shape capitalism a little bit,
a green military,
a green military, none of that. The monster is running. The monster doesn't care about your little fucking mean note, and your group chat or your whatever. The monster needs people to say you're dead, monster.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so when you have somebody like Obama, who liberals love, saying, don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I know we said 1.5 degrees Celsius. If it goes to 2.5, 3.
Yeah, what's 10 degrees when I got, $10 million in air conditioning in my house?
Yeah. I'm palling around with the Epstein class. What's the problem? And climate scientists are freaking out because this is going faster than even they projected. And when they talk about like the temperatures of the ocean or the growth of these wildfires, instead of like trickling along, all of a sudden the growth is like a y-axis. Like it is just straight up and down.
It is.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of people not factoring in how corrupt capitalism is in the world, in that there's no checks on anything anymore. And, so if even the projections didn't realize that nobody would do anything to stop it. Okay, we'll start curbing things a little bit and factor that into our equation. But now it's like, no, we're going to pretend oil's good, and every country's on a race to get more oil because that way Iran doesn't win.
Aggressive,
right?
Yeah,
so
exactly.
So the model assumed that countries would take some action, and there is no action. And so with no action, capitalism says opportunity. Let's make some more money. Let's maximize our fucking pollution. Let's just wreck this place. Who gives a fuck? Let's go.
It's a new social contract that the tech bros are always talking about.
Yeah, AI will save us. That's the new myth, somehow.
The Antarctic that Reflect the Sun just wrote about, that was actually, all of the statistics are crazy, the wildfires, all of it, but it was like 90 degrees in the Antarctic.
It's been 100 degrees for like 3 weeks in Sacramento.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it's like. It's awful here, but like,
No, I'm not trying to say deal with it, Antarctica.
No, but like obviously that is not supposed to be that way. Even in Europe, like the temperatures weren't that high in comparison to some places in California or Arizona, right? But they're not built for that. They don't have the, even just like in the Gulf countries, where whenever Professor Marandi is talking about like in Iran, they have built structures that can help create ventilation and offset. It's not that everybody has air conditioning, but like they have taken into account what the climate is. Whereas in these Gulf countries, which are just like playgrounds for the billionaire class, they're supposed to come and have all the luxuries, so air conditioning and pools and all this stuff, and like the temperatures will destroy people. I mean, how many people, like thousands of people, just died in Europe for temperatures that were like in the 90s, which doesn't sound that crazy, but you're not in a place where that's meant to get to that level.
No, I get it.
When you see, I mean, I know you do, but when you see that in Antarctica, it's like, what? That's crazy.
Yeah, but when you look to countries and you're judging countries on how they treat people, look, China's got a lot of problems, but they also have like cooling stations, and you can go in and get water and food in places, like little shops everywhere. Like I know they're not all over the country, but like in a lot of the big cities, they have these things where you can just walk in, cool down, get water and food. What a crazy concept.
What a crazy concept. All right, it's 7:30, but there was, sorry, I just want to show, can you handle it? One more Lego.
Of course. Oh, a Lego always.
So when they talk about Zionism, in my mind, I just hear capitalism. Like, to me, it's just an extension of it. So this is Picture Tomorrow with Zionism Gone.
Imagine tomorrow, no apartheid state. Imagine the families walking through the gate. They get their homes back, keys in their hand. Olive trees blooming where the drones used to land. Picture kindergartens where the sirens don't cry. Kids playing soccer instead of watching siblings die. The occupation crumbled, the walls fell down. Peace finally sitting on the whole world's crown. Imagine your tax money staying in your hood instead of funding genocide like they said they would. Picture a world where AIPAC lobby is dead. No more 2/3 budget for regime welfare. Imagine a hospital safe from the blast. Picture the media speaking at last. Think of the journalists living to tell how Bibi and Zion were swallowed in hell. They thought they could hide behind the money and the lies, but the truth woke up and the world opened its eyes. From the streets of DC to the coast of Gaza, the system is breaking, we changing the plies.
Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone. Kids in the streets singing freedom song. Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone.
Iran stood tall and the future was one.
Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone. Kids in the streets singing freedom song. Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone.
Iran stood tall and the future was one. Imagine who stood up when the world stayed silent. Iran took the pressure and we crushed the tyrant. Close your eyes, see who paid the heavy price, while the other governments were playing real nice. Picture the resistance stopping phosphorus rains, standing for humanity and smashing the chains. If we didn't hold the line and protect every lie, now imagine the truth looking straight in your eye. Dream with me, smell the air, it's finally clean. No more Netanyahu on TV looking mean. No more settler psychos with rifles and schemes, wiping out bloodlines like it's some sick routine. Picture Donald Trump getting judged for his crimes, from the Epstein Island to his final times. Imagine Jewish people finally set free, no longer hijacked by a Zionist decree. We thought they get high behind the money and the lies, but the truth woke up and the world opened its eyes. From the streets of DC to the coast of Gaza, the system is breaking, we changing the plies.
Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone. Kids in the streets singing freedom song. Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone.
Iran stood tall and the future was one.
Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone. Kids in the streets singing freedom song. Picture tomorrow with Zionism gone.
Iran stood tall and the future was one.
I love these Lego videos. Like
I love that one
do.
too.
They're so good, right? Yeah. All right. Well, we have lots more of all of that tomorrow, plus some more, scare tactics they're using against the DSA crowd and socialist crowd. Francesca Hong is the next on the list. So we will cover some of that tomorrow. And the diarrhea lettuce. We'll talk about that also. Anything you want to say before we go?
Thank you, Oxford Commie. That was amazing. I so appreciate you coming here. I would really love to make live music sort of a semi-regular once in a while.
I agree. I love it so much. Yeah. Thank you, Oxford Commie. She's amazing. Please do follow her, Oxford_Commie, but also her link tree is in the description under this page on YouTube. And tomorrow, 6 p.m., we will see everybody. We are going out on just a beautiful moment of appreciation from some people in Gaza who are incorporating some Spanish food because of the solidarity that Spain has shown them. And it all just gets very heavy.
Look, if they can do this kind of community in Gaza with the bombs, we can have a barbecue with some leftists and make it happen, even if you're
absolutely
not down for that kind of thing. Anyway, love to them, love to everybody.
Love
See you tomorrow.
Guys. Keep punching up. Cheers.
La noche arde. La 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 la. La 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 la. Luces rojas, vibra la ciudad, siente el ritmo, pura intensidad en el campo, suena el corazón. Cada pase lleva intención. Pedri juega con elegancia, Gaby lucha con arrogancia, llama al vuela sin mirar atrás. Hoy estaba listo para marcar. Siente el fuego en la piel, nada nos va a detener. Esta noche es para ganar, todo listo para brillar. Fuego y gloria, vamos a ganar. Rojo y oro empieza a brillar. Desde la calle hasta el estadio, España manda en el escenario. Fuego y gloria sin control, baila fuerte con el corazón. Toda la noche sin parar, España vino a dominar. Desde el barrio hasta el mundial, cada paso es especial. Toque fino, pura visión, es arte en cada acción. Rodri firme en el medio va, Carvajal nunca se va a parar. Cada jugada es presión.